Hi, it's March the 16th, and I'm going to try to read on Kendrick Lamar Johnson's case. I think it's Lamar. I always want to say Lamar in there, but definitely Kendrick Johnson's case. He was a 17-year-old black youth out of Georgia that in 2013 was found, as you might recall, coiled up oddly in a gym mat that was about 6 feet tall, lengthwise, if you will, and about 3 feet, from what I've read, widthwise. There were all kinds of crazy theories thrown out there as to why, Kendrick would be found in this way. And they just did not want to entertain for a moment that it was homicide. But that's precisely, I think, what Kendrick's parents, in private investigation and autopsy, pointed towards, was definite homicide, blunt force trauma. Because the stuff that officials were coming up with regard to this young man's death and what ended up happening with his remains, you just got to Google it. It's my God, these parents have been through a nightmare. Okay, so they have all my empathy. All right, because they really were. People were out to screw them from before the word go. There are people that are rumored to be part of the death, and I don't know any names, but I just know that there are rumored to be two potentially, sons of an FBI agent or something along those lines, somebody that has worked in the law enforcement in the upper, I think, offices, something there, where I think there's somebody using their office in a very abusive way. It's so on point that it's disgusting. I don't know what more to say. It's just the audacity. It's part of the audacity and nastiness of systemic racism. And I believe that it is now time for this case to have a better opportunity to be re-examined in a more truthful light than ever before. And it's sad. This was 2013, folks. It was not that long ago. And neither was 2016, when the Department of Justice in June decided to not reopen or investigate this case any further. I'd like to know who the Georgia officials were that made that decision. I need to find that out. So without further ado, I'm going to ask the cards to reveal, if we can, and I ask my spiritual helpers to help me to keep an environment in which I can read these cards to you, drama-free of anybody else that's in my environment. All right. And anyone else's crap, too. And you, and you, and you, and you. All right. Let's hope for the best. Okay, Kendrick, what do you want to share with me about your case? Give you voice. There's one person's voice that has been lost so much among all this. It's Kendrick's voice. What does Kendrick want to say? Kendrick, what does Kendrick want to say? Kendrick Johnson of Georgia. He was 17 in January of 2013 when something happened and he ended up inside of a gym mat, deceased. What does the universe want to reveal with regards to his case? Kendrick Johnson, Kendrick Johnson, Kendrick Johnson. Ace of Hearts. Firstly, he's talking about unity, that we are all one. And that is really the truth with the Ace of Hearts. It's kind of like the micro and the micro and the macro, but yet together as one. You know, we are all connected. He's saying we are all one. People need to realize that. That these things that people use to differentiate or separate other people from themselves is an illusion. And we need to get in control of our bad tempers and the parts of us that are out of control and too aggressive and that are harmful. We need to look at them and honestly and confront them, but not in a way of violence that begets violence, but of a gentleness and an understanding, but one of firmness that doesn't take any crap. It's like, no, you're not going to overwhelm and make everyone do your wishes, tiptoe around your temper. Because you can't control yourself, that temperament. This is about talking about that too, because I think there was a young man that was very jealous of him, is what I pick up very strongly, and that hauled off and cold-cocked him, I think, and may have even had some sort of, I don't know, gym equipment, barbell, something. I don't know. I just feel like they were in the gym, and I feel like he grabbed something and just clocked him. I just saw it in my head. Four of Hearts. Princess of Hearts. This is about people not caring and trying to get people to care. People need to become, the message is more empathetic again. Make people kind again. Make people care again. So he's asking for kindness. That's sad. He's still asking for kindness from this world. But there are those of us that can give him that. There's the Death. And we're all going to die. We're all connected. We're all interconnected. What you do is not separate and off in another little area. And you will have to deal with consequences when you do something that is that radical, that out of line. Oops, sorry. Imbalanced. It's really an age that calls for the end of racism and bigotry and embrace diversity and unity. There are secrets and hidden things that have been hidden about his death. His death has definitely been covered up with that moon and death. this is by a stronger, somebody that has greater power coming in and taking over it. And I think out of a close relationship, so it could be family, it can be whatever, friendships. It's very tight feeling of, bonds. The Chariot. This is moving forward. And so it's interesting when we look this way is the death and the hidden aspects and the mysterious things about his death that don't make sense. And that, trying to unfold that, well, it looks like it's done successfully here. Where we look over at that and we look at the apathy around his death with regard is suspicious, is what it's saying. And people are much more empathic or empathetic at this point in time for it to come back up. Yeah, look, there's judgment. So it will be, I think it will get some sort of a ruling finally that is accurate with the Chariot and judgment. It's that judgment is accurately based, that there's been a cover-up. And I think that's what it will come out with, is that there's been a cover-up in his case, and by people that were apathetic, that didn't care. And they are heavy-handed. This is somebody that has a lot of clout, a lot of authority, can make things happen. And it's because it's somebody that's very, very, very close to them with that Ace of Hearts or Cups, their child even. Anyway, let's just say family member, close person. Prince of Swords. This is a reactive prince. And a very young prince. I think he was attacked suddenly. I don't think he expected it. And I think that it was to do with maybe a crush or some kind here of attraction, potentially. With that Ace of Hearts, they're like a new friendship, potentially too. But this card is like, no, it can't happen. Stopping it, trying to stop it, and like getting in between and getting caught up in the middle and inserting yourself maybe where you don't belong because you have a particular feeling about that. Seven of Hearts. This is talking about the confusion and the different possibilities and theories, and that it has been put out there on purpose, is what we see, by someone with real authority that knows how to do that, or knows how to do it effectively enough within that region to keep a lid on it being investigated properly, frankly. Somebody's acting very heavy-handed and holding the reins still. Here we have the Nine of Pentacles. This is talking about work. This is talking about a career. And the Chariot, they don't care. Their career has made them kind of hard. They're fairly high up, too. Very successful. They might oversee a branch or be like a manager of some kind. I don't know how to put this in words, but I feel like they are well established. But this concerning thing is the apathy I see with that four. That they're hard-hearted, is what that tells me. That's not good. Nine of Wands. This is where there is a head injury with this card and battery to the head. This is undergoing some sort of what would have been a physical assault and being wounded. And in particularly with the Nine of Wands, usually there's a bandage around the head. And it can be a card that you can use to indicate head wounds. So he did sustain a head wound, head trauma. That's tracking. And it's under the Princess of Hearts. I think that there's a female that knows this. I think there was a young lady that knows about this. She knows how he got in that. Somebody's told her. I don't think she was part of it. I think somebody put him in there to confuse things and got help. Because he had a head injury. I think he was struck in and around the temple with some kind of like barbell or something that's got a bit of that would really pack a wallop, and that caused brain injury. And so they, rather than get him help, they just let him die and roll him up and pretend he's not there. I don't know, it's like, what the F? What, that's the plan? Oops, sorry. I always do that with this thing. King of Hearts. Okay, so there is an adult male of a water sign. The Devil. This has to do, I'm feeling like there is corruption here with this King of Hearts, and I'm feeling like we're dealing with somebody that's really involved in some dark stuff and is connected to dark people in the way of the devil, by way of they are sketchy individuals. This is having power over others and abusing that power. So I see a few people involved in this, because the system is just saying the system itself is just rotten, and just as rotten as this guy next to it. And I tend to think that there's some other things going on that are not right as well, along with not only the systemic, of course, racism, but I think the person that's really connected to this individual, this King of Hearts, whoever is, I think he has like a drug or drink, some kind of addiction problem. Or he is involved in maybe catering to that as well. Yes, look at that. There's money here. And there's doing something, getting better at something over and over again. But now we're kind of seesawing back and forth from one extreme to the other. Yeah, but nothing has really happened with this case. I mean, that was 2013 when he passed. It is now 2021. So 8 of Pentacles and 2 of Pentacles. 10. There's going to be, I get an improvement in technology. I just got to hit off that. To do with, I feel like, trace evidence and them looking at that material again, whatever evidence they can, or paperwork, whatever that establishes that they don't have to recreate again. I feel like, though, this time with this case, it's going to be very different, because they're not going to go to one extreme or another. They are going to try to finally work this case the way it should have been worked. That's pretty significant. So the World and the Queen of Swords. All right, hang on a moment. So I see a woman, and I don't know if it's like the mother, but I just see her just presenting the picture of what happened to him straight up. She doesn't mince words. She's not going to candy coat it. I believe she's somebody that is involved in the forensic reexamination of evidence. Two of Hearts and the Five of Swords. It looks like there was, again, a situation where we're dealing with a relationship or a bond, that there is a loss. And it looks to me like there's loss of affection, of a sweetheart. It has that energy and look and feel. So I think that somebody was upset emotionally and mentally about some sort of new blossoming attraction or friendship, and it was a positive thing. But I'm getting this person was tortured by the idea. Somebody really didn't like it. Ace of Pentacles, new beginning, a new development. Or sometimes even like manifestation, accomplishment. Prince of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles. I just feel like there's a bragging kind of an energy going on here. A very sophomoric feeling with these princes. Young male energy. And then there is the Mother card. The Empress. But which mother is this? Is this Kendrick's mom? I think so. She keeps fighting and brings the tower. She brings the tower. She's going to bring him down, he's saying. Okay. And it will be, the right now is again that message of right now. I keep getting this. This is not the first time I've tried to throw cards on this. It's unfortunately due to people in my environment that right now that I'm not able to make my reading as nice as I'd like to. Sorry about that. Though it seems settled now. Five of Wands. So there was some sort of a physical assault, okay? I get that. You can even see that with this card. That represents a physical assault. A confrontation did take place, indeed. And that needs to come out, is what he's saying. And the mother will get out that he was physically assaulted. He didn't seek this out. Somebody just came up and friggin' clocked him, decked him, and then wrapped him up, and he's, I believe, slowly passed away due to asphyxiation while rolled up because they wanted to hide him rather than get him help. The Lovers. This is to do about a love relationship. This is to do about love, affection, and attention, and flirtation, and choices. And so that can make some people feel insecure. And they can make bad choices. This is a transition and wanting to move on now. I believe Kendrick has been kind of held back from transitioning completely in the way that would be more full of fully his energy, so to speak, more fully. And I think that with the re-examination of this case, there's an opportunity now that he can do that. I see that looking like it's going to happen. Really get a sense that he's able to let go and move on and finish kind of what he came into the world to do. Let go of it and let it play its way out. It's the ice cream man again. 6 of Wands and the 6 of Swords. That's interesting. 2 sixes and 3 sixes. Whoa, whoa. And look at that. Oh, that's a 16. All right, never mind. But look. Yeah. But it's success. He will have success, he's saying, in saying what they did to him. And at the end of the day, and what they tried to deny, what they tried to cover up and hide. And it has to do, there's greed involved and love of power and just the ugly side of human beings. But he will have triumph is what he's showing me. So, despite what these people have done to him all these years, he's going to feel triumphant at the end of the day. Oh, I'm sorry, I put that the wrong way. That was my fault. They really, I think, wounded him and caused him grave injury that literally he was not well. They injured him. I'm getting that. That's, again, a confirmation. And the 7 of Swords concealed him, rolled him up in that mat. I keep doing that. 6 of Hearts. That is to do really with childhood and I think school and the past, what is now most certainly the past, but at that time was rather innocent enough. Yeah, look at that. There was something that he found that he enjoyed, and I believe there was the attention of a female. But, okay. Justice. He needs justice. And he will have justice, is what he's saying. He will have the satisfaction of justice. So this time he will finally get justice with this re-examination. It will be much more thorough, and it will be putting heat to the feet of those to which should have that heat, to those who are responsible, that abandoned their duties, abandoned their humanity, left him there to die, rolled up in a mat like he was garbage, and not treating him like a human being. This is the wound, the sorrow, the heartbreak, and this trying to keep it a secret, trying to cover it up, not allowing the truth to be told. And that is where the shame lies in what they did. So it will mean a great deal for him to have that truth be known to everyone about his case. And there's a Queen of Wands who moves forward with this energy, takes this energy forward into society. I think it is a historic landmark type of case, and it will help us be a game changer, finally, where these kinds of cases of systemic racism occur, and the system just doesn't, of course, do anything but protect itself rather than protect and honor a innocent young man who happened to have the skin color that was different than someone else's, and somebody took umbrage. What a waste. Schooling. This is the school too. And the school was looking like it was helpless, didn't know what to do, or like it was taken hostage or held hostage. Because somebody else was telling it what to do. That it had to follow, it had to do what it was told. And there's also, I feel like, trying to tell him what to do. I feel like there was an exchange. The Sun, King of Swords. Now, I think Kendrick was an air sign. Yes, he was a Libra. October 10th, I believe, was his birthday. So this is him. And here's the Sun, and he's done with that. He's fulfilled the contract for this life obligation to get us back up to speed, to be empathetic and have more empathetic laws in place and consideration. There's some, that he's quite satisfied with the situation, that I feel like it's clear and he's able to be free to move on even more. And so will society. It helps society. He is helping to have a different perspective about how we socialize and how we interact and how our children interact and how we treat friends. But, basically how we interact with one another, and that it needs to become more kind. That it needs to become more kind and lighthearted. So that is definitely a message from him. And the Eight of Wands is picking up energy and directing it toward forming and what would you call, you reset it. You consider where things need to be fixed and change them, so that this is going to be the outcome that you want it to bear the fruit that you want. So there is being mindful in its application, becoming more mindful and making society more mindful was Kendrick's definitely part to play here, and that will have been complete. So he will have a reinvestigation. It will be successful in exposing systemic racism there in a significant way. All right, I can hear the ice cream man queuing up again. This is just crazy. Anyway, and I will talk to you again later. I hope that you have a great day. And if you like this content, please make sure that you like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Thank you.